Welcome to our Women at Work Life Happens podcast, where women openly discuss their roads to success, including failures and a few speed bumps along the way. Our focus in each and every podcast is to reach out to women in business, whether you are just starting out, have been in business for years, or you're thinking about taking that leap from a corporate career. And we want to support you through conversation and sharing of best business practices. Our goal is always to inspire, connect, encourage and build confidence, and let you know that you are not alone in this. Check us out at marinwomenatwork.com. Enjoy today's podcast, and please forward to friends and colleagues so that we can continue to reach out and inspire women every day. Hi, it's Karen, and welcome to Women at Work Life Happens podcast number 3. Today's topic is a difficult one. We're calling it Cancer, Joanne's Journey, because I'm sitting here with my dear friend, Joanne. I have known her forever, through thick and thin, through good times and bad times. Oh my gosh, we've gone through brutal custody battle, illness, several deaths, skateboard accident, but we've also were those friends that have traveled together, book club, and laugh out loud, much to the dismay of our kids, because usually our kids are around us and they're like, you're not even laughing at anything funny. But we have that kind of a friendship where we just can look at each other and burst into hysterical laughter. And so I wanted her to be able to, or to be on our podcast, because she's been through a lot, this woman has. And yet she's had her downtimes, but for the most part, she's really been strong, and she's so independent. And oh my gosh, going back to school and getting her teaching credentials. And then of all things, she picks junior high school. God bless her, not the easiest choice in life, but, and just, she's not only been diagnosed with breast cancer once, but twice. So I really appreciate that she's here to share her journey with us. And, our whole goal with this and why we're hoping our listeners will share it with others is because she does have such a strong message. But whether you've been diagnosed or a friend has been diagnosed, cancer is prevalent in all of our lives. And just in the last 4 to 5 years, we've had at least, Joanne, probably 4 or 5 friends diagnosed with breast cancer. So, this is an important one. And, we'll have a little laughter through it, because that's what made her strong through her journey was, yes, she had her downtime, but she also had to bring some humor into it just to keep her sane. So let's do a welcome for Joanne. And thank you so much for opening up to us and being willing to share your personal journey. So I'll let you get started.
Thank you, Karen. I think I would like to start out saying cancer is a devastating diagnosis. To have been diagnosed twice is unbelievable.
How old were you the first time?
The first time I was 43, young. I was married. I had 2 young children. But my first diagnosis was stage 2, although I did have to get a mastectomy. And at that age, it was quite devastating. And
I can imagine that. Only imagine.
I got through it, but like I said, it wasn't life-threatening. I never feared for my life. I remember asking the doctor, am I going to die? That was the first thing out of my mouth. Am I going to die?
Well, especially with 2 young kids.
2 young boys. And she said, the only way you're going to die is if you walk out of this hospital and get hit by a mutie bus. Okay?
Okay, God bless you.
God bless
doctor.
you.
Oh.
So I was, I don't know if you want to call it cancer-free, for 13 years. In that time, my husband passed away unexpectedly at 44 years old. I want to make this one thing clear. Do not ignore the signs of your body as I did. I even pointed out to Karen several times, what do you think about this lump under my arm? And she's like, get it checked out. Did I? No. I knew that it probably was.
How long did you wait?
Good year.
Oh my goodness.
Over
I remember
a year.
being in Tahoe with you and you were stressed about it.
I was stressed.
We were at a friend's wedding and we're all like, go. And we no one knows what it's like for an individual to go back to the doctor, because I know you knew inside that they were going to have some bad news for you.
Yes.
So I none of us can say, oh, you should have gone sooner. You're telling our listeners that.
Well, I am saying that it probably wouldn't, I probably wouldn't have had to have 14 lymph nodes taken out if I would have gone sooner. It wouldn't have been stage 4 cancer. I wouldn't have had to have the terrible chemo I did, but I ignored it, and I ignored it for several reasons. At this time, I'm a single mom. I just came off of getting my teaching credential, starting a new job. I really, in my mind, convinced myself it was probably just fatty deposit, which it was not. Clearly. So, yes, diagnosed after 13 years.
How did you feel? Because I remember you were so scared. And then the first time around, you embraced friends and family.
More so. This time I felt a little alone. This one was much more serious and life-threatening, definitely. And there was no question I was going to have to do some serious treatments. I had to take medicine to shrink it. I had to have surgery. I'd have radiation, chemo, keep going.
And through it all, she wanted to work.
And I worked.
So didn't you switch the radiation? Usually it's chemo first, then radiation.
Yeah.
But you switch it just so she could finish teaching. I'm like, girl, you had a diagnosis. Go
I don't
home
know.
and sleep.
Complete denial, I imagine. But anyways, needless to say, I got through it. I try and keep my sense of humor. I have to have to laugh, because if I don't, I'll cry. And it's just my nature. But let me tell you, there were some very lonely times and sleepless nights. And I have to say I was so frightened the first time I went to chemo. I was terrified. A girlfriend came along with me, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be bedbound. I'm going to be in my bed. I won't be able to get up. I'm going to be throwing up. I'm not going to be able to go outside. And I just want to tell you, it's not like that anymore. The chemotherapy they have is not our mother's chemotherapy. It is, trust me, it's not a walk in the park, but it's manageable. I could still cook. I could go shopping. I went out with my friends.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I mean, so it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I still wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
But there is one thing that I remember you telling me.
Oh, but there are some, don't get me wrong, there are some benefits to chemo. For example, no more plucking those long chin hairs. The amount of money I saved on razors, and not to mention the free Brazilian.
I think
nice.
Our listeners just
Ew.
Oh my
Okay.
God. They just tuned us out
Too
right
much
now.
information.
Yep,
Brazilian. Yep.
Oh my God, your boys are going to die. Which?
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, but let's go to them, because they were
They were a huge part. My one son lives in New York, so he wasn't here. My younger son lives with me. He was helpful, but as much as a 21-year-old can be helpful, but I think he saw that I didn't need that much help. I'll never forget, I was pulling the trash cans out, and when he pulled up, and he's like, hey, how's it going? Went into the house. I didn't even finish pulling the trash. I'm good, thanks.
Just got back from my chemo treatment.
Good.
But,
I just got chemo.
I'll get the trash.
Got it. Yeah. What do you want for dinner? But I have to say, there.
And people brought you food, and I do know Joanne has told me over the years
so helpful.
That if you're a friend listening to this of someone that's been diagnosed, even if they're the best cook in the world, Joanne's not, believe me.
Which I'm not.
But even if they have, it's nice to have meals. Her family was taken care of. She was taken care of, and you just feel love. But it wasn't invasive because they
would
left
just
it outside
on the porch and with nice notes, encouraging words. And I will say something about since I did not have a husband to get me through this, my friends and especially my small circle of friends really supported me and helped me, and they weren't overbearing or calling me all the time. And I think that that's important. They would just say something like, you're okay, not you're okay, but like, if you need anything, let me know. And if I did, I would let them know. Like, one girlfriend came over and she's like, do you need anything? I'm like, oh, I need to, can you help me wash my sheets? And instead of that, she brought over a whole new set of sheets and comforter. And I can't tell you what a luxury it was getting into the bed at night, because I did spend a lot of time horizontal, and getting into fresh new sheets. And it's little small things like that.
And I think you told me, like, I know for my sister-in-law, we did just all new robes and nightgowns and things, because it just feels so good and a little luxurious when you're going through what you're going through. Also, the other thing that you reminded me, you preferred like a text. If I need you, I'll respond, but you were too tired for long conversations and too much attention. The other thing that Joanne has made perfectly clear, and we've talked about this over the years, is when you ask a cancer, and I'm going to use the word survivor, and then we can go on to that subject person. It's not, hey, how are you? It's, hey, how are you? Like you would say to any other person, because what you've taught me is you don't want that to be your identity, your focus. Like, just how am I? Like, how's my day going today? Not like in the future or my health issues. The other word, cancer survivor. Tell us about
some people embrace that term, cancer survivor. For some reason, it does not resonate with me. I do not like to be identified with being diagnosed with cancer. That's not who I am. It's something that, unfortunately, I got diagnosed with. I don't feel like a survivor. Believe me, I went kicking and screaming the whole way to chemo. I did everything not to do it. I got like 3-4 opinions, because I did not want it. It's not something that I chose. I don't like that term personally, but a lot of people embrace it.
Because you're proud of being a single mom and going back to school. And
I would rather be identified in a positive way opposed to a negative. I'd rather be, some of the best words I've ever heard in my life is someone who says, wow, you raised 2 great boys. And I have.
And they are awesome. I love them to death.
In New York City, working at a large ad agency. He has faced things that no 25-year-old should, and he's happy and doing well. My younger son just started San Francisco State. He's pursuing the sciences and has such a good outlook on life. And I'd rather be known as a good mother, or even a teacher, a good teacher, or a good daughter. Friend. I could be stretching it. Okay, so not to put down people who do embrace that, but I'm not. The only time I will be a cancer survivor is that when I die of something else, pretty much. I am always looking over my shoulder. I try not to think about it every day, but I live it every day. I have to look at the scars on my body. I have to pop my medication. I get, sick to my stomach before my checkups. So I'd rather really actually talk about something else. And for me, if I want to talk about it, usually I have an appointment coming up on the 13th of September, and I'm nervous. I start getting nervous about a couple weeks before, and maybe then I kind of want to say, God, I'm really nervous. I hope I'm okay. Otherwise, don't want to really talk about it too much. I mean, it's good to check in, but
I think and if you saw her sitting next to me right now, you don't look like you've been through all that you've been through over the years. She's just back to Joanne. So
I feel back to normal.
If you could probably give anybody that is in the process of going through chemo, it's not your mother's chemo. It's yes, it sucks. Joanne's not saying it doesn't suck, but you will get through it. And then sitting again next to you're on the other side. And I know you have another meeting, a doctor appointment coming up, but you look great and you feel great. We were just at a wedding. We've just done a bunch of stuff, and she's on the mend. So you will get there. All of you will get there. And as a friend, if you just be there as a support system. But unless your person in your life has let you know they want to discuss it, let them just be their normal self as opposed to their cancer self. That's what I've learned from you in our discussions over the years. And so we want to end on a positive note. Or is there one thing we didn't cover that you want to share in this podcast to help others heal or understand what it's like, or anything?
Well, I would just have to say, when you're going through the chemo, you don't feel yourself, your hair, your skin gets a beautiful gray tone that great. But I would have to say you will get through it. You do get through it. And it takes a while for it to get out of your system. In fact, I'm still using chemo brain, even though I haven't had chemo in a month and a half, a year and a half. But like my son's like, "What? You've asked me that 3 times." I'm like, "Oh, chemo brain, Mom. I haven't had chemo in like almost 2 years." I'm like, "Yeah, you never know how long it's gonna last." So I use that a lot.
That's a good note to sell. Everybody, take that one away.
Take that one. Chemo brain works every time.
Oh, again, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. And I hope that all of our listeners will share this podcast. It's, you found it on YouTube. Women at Work, Life Happens, Cancer, and Joanne's story. And you can find us at marinwomenatwork.com as well. So thanks for listening to us. And I hope if we help one person who has recently been diagnosed, or one friend, help them get through this, and this was all worth it. So thank you so much.
And on an ending note, I wish that I knew about these types of podcasts when I was going through it, because I think it would have helped me. I wasn't the type to really reach out, and I just hope I helped you just a little. Right?
Driving alone in a car.
Oh, yeah. I would have loved to listen to someone who had a sense of humor about it. Most of the people I interacted with did not. So it would have been great.
That's why I wanted you. Thank you. And I hope you get something out of this fabulous journey. All right. Bye for now.